In today's video, we are going to be looking at a couple of questions related to division, and through those questions, we are going to explore what short divisions are. We are also going to explore what are remainders, what is a dividend, what is a divisor, and we will also be looking at what the bus stop method is and how we can actually solve this bus stop method. So for the first question, let's take a very normal, simple one. So we've got 703 divided by 3. This is our question over here. All right. So in this question, what we need to do is we need to divide 703 into 3 groups. That's what we're going to do. So what we will be doing over here is we will be drawing a bus stop over here. So this method is actually called a bus stop method. So we will be drawing a bus stop and we will be putting the number we are dividing by outside. And this is called the dividend, right? And the number we are dividing will be on the inside of the bus stop. And this is called the divisor. Okay, so this is called the divisor. That is the number that is being divided, and the number we're dividing by is called the dividend. So this is how we actually write down the bus stop method. So let's take a look at how we actually can solve this question. So I'm going to write the same question again. That is 3 divided by 703. All right. So the first step I'm going to do is I'm going to split this number into digits. Okay. So I'm going to take the first digit, and that is 7. And I'm going to see how many 3's go into 7. All right. How many 3's go into 7? And I realize that 2 3's go into 7 because 2 into 3 is 6. All right, but we have a 7 here, so that means we will have one remainder. Okay, so let's look at what a remainder is. A remainder is a number that we get extra after grouping. All right, so for example, if we have 5 circles, and if we are going to split this up into 2 groups equally, so we will be having 2 groups and 1 remainder. Okay, that's what a remainder is. So let's go ahead and go back to the question. So we have 1 remainder after, if we group the 7 into 3 groups, we would have 6 in each group, and we would have 1 remainder. So then the 6 would be the first number over here, and the remainder one, we are going to move it to the next column and make it a 10. Okay, now the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to see how many 3's go into 10, and then we realize 3 3's go into 10. 3 3's go into 10. So we realize that 3 3's go into 10 because 3 times 3 is 9. All right, so 3 groups of 3 go into 10, but we realize we have 1 remainder. Okay, so what we are going to do over here is just like what we did. We are going to put the number 9 over here. All right, sorry, number 3 over here. Okay, and realize 3 times 3 is 9, but we have a 10 here, so we would have 1 remainder. All right, so that 1 remainder, we're going to move it to the next column and make it a 13. So we're going to see how many 3's go into 13, and we realize that 4 3's go into 13. Okay, so 4 3s go into 13. So that means 4 times 3 is 12. But we have 13 here. That means we would have one remainder. Okay, so now what we are going to do is we are going to, now we know 4 times 3 is 13. The 4 times 3 is 12. All right, so 13 take away 12, we would have one remainder. So when you're using this bus stop method, we put the quotient here. So this number that we get after dividing is called the quotient, and we put the remainder next to it. So the answer for 703 divided by 3 would be 634 remainder 1. Okay, and that is how we solve using the bus stop method. So let's take a look at another question. So in this question, what we are going to do is we are going to learn to divide 591 by a 4. Okay, we're going to learn to divide 591 by a 4. So in here, what we're going to do is we are going to use the bus stop method, just like how we did earlier. Right, 591 divided by a 4. Okay, so the first step that we are going to look at is we are going to take the first digit and see how many 4s go into 5, and we realize only one 4 goes into 5. So 1 times 4 is 4, but 5 take away 4, 5 take away 4, we have one remainder. All right, so that one remainder would be put to the next column. So now we're going to look at how many 4s go into 19. All right, so and then what we're going to do is 4 times 4 4s go into 19. All right, so that is 16. 4 times 4 is 16, but we already have a 19 here, so 19 take away 16 will be 3. Right, 19 take away 16 will be a 3 remainder. Okay, so that 3 we're going to put it into the next column. All right, and then now we're going to look at how many 4s go into 31, because we have a 3 here and we have a 1 here. So now we're going to look at how many 3s go into 31. Okay, how many 4s go into 31. All right, and then we realize 6 times 4 is 24. Okay, and then we realize 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, but if we go to 8 times 4, it would exceed more than 31, isn't it? Yeah, we would get 32, so that would exceed 31. So the correct factor to take over here is this. So I know 7 times 4 is 28. Okay, 28, but we have a 31 here. So 31 take away 28, I would have 3 remainder. All right, so we would have 147 remainder 3 as the answer. So 591 divided by 4 would be 147 remainder 3. Okay, so let's take a look at another question for today. All right, so in here what we are going to do is we are going to divide 833 by a 6. Okay, we're going to do 833 divided by a 6. So in here what we need to do is we need to use the bus stop method, just like how we did. Okay, and now I'm going to first look at how many I'm going to look at how many 6 goes into 8, and I realize only one 6 goes into 8. So that would be 1 times 6 is 6, but we have an 8 here, so 8 take away 6. We would have 2 remainder. Okay, we would have 2 remainder. So that 2, I'm going to move it to the next column over here and put a small 2 over here. Okay, that means I have a 23 there. Okay, so now I'm going to see how many 6 goes into 23. Okay, so I know Um, so I know 6 times 3 is 18. Okay, 6 times 4 is 24. All right, so I realize if it goes to 6 times 4, then it's more than that bar that we have set here, that is 23. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 times 6. So 3 times 6 is 18. So 23 take away 18 equals 5 remainder. So that 5, I'm going to put it over here and see for 53. Okay, so how many times does 6 go into 53? That's what we're going to check over here. All right, so and then what we're going to do in here is, we know that 6 times 8 is, what we're going to do in here is we're going to do 6 times 8, and then we're going to have 48 in here. 6 times 8 is 48. So 8 times 6 is 48. So 53 take away 48. And then what we're going to do is we're going to have a remainder here. So what we did here is we took this, when you're trying to find the remainder, you multiply this quotient by the number you have here. So that is 8 times 6. Okay, so 8 times 6 is 53. Well, sorry, 48. So we are going to take away this 48 that we got from the number that we already have here, that is 53. So after you take away, you realize we get a remainder 5. Right, and that is how we use bus stop method to divide numbers.